This is me catching a snatch in the bottom with 2 full glasses of water balance on my feet. And luckily, in this specific instance, no water was spilled. Now, before anyone gets any ideas, please do not try this glassware version at home. And I take no responsibility for those out there that aren't going to listen anyway. This specific example was just to illustrate a point. And the point is how little your feet should be moving in this specific variation that I like to program as a priming exercise to really reinforce midfoot balance. Because midfoot balance is thrown around a lot. And I'm sure everyone in weightlifting has heard of it. But when it comes to actually achieving it, it can be pretty deceptively difficult. So today I want to show you a drill that I use and program to bring attention to exactly this. It's called the flat foot snatch. I'll show you how to do it, why I program it the way that I do, and the one thing that you have to understand so it transfers over to your actual lifts. Now, I've already broken down in detail what midfoot balance is about in another video, so I won't refresh the whole thing here. I'll link it at the top of the description. The shorter version is, through the pull, we want pressure staying centered over the middle of the foot. Not rocking back into the heels, not tipping forward into our toes. And if your toes or heels are noticeably rising during the pull, then that centered pressure and balance is therefore gone. And the trouble is, even when we break things down with certain variations, just like the no feet snatch, where only the heels are allowed to raise while everything else stays consistent, this doesn't automatically mean that we stay balanced either. And that's the whole job of this drill, which I would consider a useful overcorrection. The flat foot snatch. And the rule couldn't be simpler. Your feet stay flat and they don't move throughout the entirety of the lift. No heel rising, no jumping, no shuffling. Your setup, pull, extension, and catch, all with flat feet. And for those trying this for the first, second, third, or more times trying this, it feels very awkward. You essentially lose the ability to jump and reposition, and you are forced to stay balanced in the middle of the foot the entire lift. This builds an extreme patience in the pull that I would say not many have experienced before. You stop rushing into extension, and you of course can't even reach triple extension. But this is more of a sacrifice for the balance that we're trying to feel here. Now this is where the glasses of water comes in. Now inside my team this week when programming this, most just tried to pretend there was something on their feet, although some opted for poppers or as you would call juice boxes if you're not from Australia. And they balanced it right on top of their shoe. And I found this as a great little test, as there is nowhere to hide when doing this. Some kept their feet down, some spilt make-believe wine everywhere when trying this. Now in the actual snatch without such constraints, the heels of course do come up as you extend. The question is here, when we overcorrect in the flat-footed snatch to then starting to snatch again where we can raise the heels, is our balance still in the midfoot when doing so? As heels up or flat until contact doesn't necessarily mean one is balanced and one isn't. It is a matter of where our center of balance sits. Which brings me to why I program flat-footed snatches in the way that I do. After a few rounds of the feet completely glued down, we then transition straight into no feet snatches. And with this, the heels are now allowed to rise, but the feet stay planted. And ideally with that balance that we just gained from the flat-footed snatches, then carry over to the no feet snatches. And this exact style of no feet snatch work, where the heel can raise but the rest can't move, is a huge part of what cleaned up my own snatch. Years ago, my feet had a mind of their own. The air time that I had on my snatches after I extended was outrageous, and I had no idea where the bar was post-extension. And my coach and I made an executive decision that we would switch to no feet snatches only until further notice. And I took to them that well that I ended up doing no feet snatches only for the next 12 months straight. And that included snatching at the World Championships that year. And all of it started with learning to stay balanced in the midfoot and maximizing that leg drive and extension because of it. So, who is this for? If your feet shuffle, jump, or slide too wide, and if you feel like you're constantly chasing the bar around post-extension, then this is for you. I would program it early in the snatch session, ideally to start, as more of a primer before some no feet work. Keep the load very light as this is just about quality and feel. A few doubles of some nice flat-footed snatches without that heel rising will then ideally flow into some no feet snatches which can load a bit heavier. Then if you really want, you can then let it flow into some regular snatches afterwards. This is also a quick snapshot as to what it's like inside my team each week. Proper coaching on the technical fundamentals that actually help your lifting with a group that keeps it fun and lighthearted enough so you can keep showing up. If that's the kind of training you've been missing on your own, I'll leave a link and you can come join us free for a week. I'll also leave a link to my free positional playbook so you can see the do's and the don'ts across all positions of all 3 Olympic lifts and see where you potentially need some work. But also, if you want to go deeper into your lifting, YouTube has suggested 2 videos up here that'll help you further.